What's going on with the Arizona housing market? Is it about to crash? We're going to address that and more in this video. Stay tuned. Let's go. Hey everyone, my name is Kelly with the Kelly Cook Real Estate Group. I've been selling real estate here in the Phoenix area for 17 years, and I have seen the good, the bad. I've seen the market on fire, and I've seen the market in a dumpster fire. So I've seen it all, guys. And the question now that we're getting more than anything is, Kelly, is the Arizona housing market going to crash? We think it is. And pretty much everyone goes to that conclusion immediately. They go from 0 to 60 in 2.4 seconds. It's unbelievable. But guys, I'm here to tell you that no one has the crystal ball, obviously. But is it going to crash? The short answer, no, it's not. Okay? Now, is it going to correct? And I think that answer is yes. It has to. All right? Now, we're talking two different things here. The U.S. national housing market and the Arizona housing market, right? Let's just walk through this for a second here. The U.S. housing market is a little more fragile, generally speaking, than the Arizona housing market because there is a lot of different population migration patterns happening right now. There are a lot of industry that are moving headquarters or divisions of companies to Sun Belt states like Arizona in the Southwest here, where it's sunny and a lot of population is going. So there's a lot of movement of employment and population, and those two obviously work hand in hand in many different cases. So Arizona will certainly be one of the later states or economies, especially Phoenix, Arizona, one of the later economies to actually feel the pain of an upcoming potential recession. All right. Now, obviously, you can raise the rates. The Federal Reserve is right now looking to raise rates. Already have. They went from basically a par rate to 0.25% in the federal funds rate up to 0.75 on the federal funds rate now, and they're scheduled to meet another 5 times the rest of this year. And they say at this point they're going to raise rates all 5 times. That could change. Obviously, they've changed their course before when it comes to this kind of policy making. However, at this point, that's what everyone's kind of banking on. And although that doesn't directly affect housing mortgage rates, it does indirectly affect them based upon the 10-year treasury. So that being said, you can't raise the same, if you raise the rates in, say, North Dakota or Wisconsin, it's going to have a different effect on the housing market than it will in Arizona, where there's more population, more industry, if that makes sense. So that being said, when the Fed feels overall, generally speaking, they've done their job to curtail inflation and try to get that under control, they're saying they're looking for the soft landing, right? Well, when they feel like they've reached that bar, generally speaking, for most of the country, that bar that stalls Wisconsin or North Dakota or states where maybe they don't have as much population moving towards is going to be a different effect than it will for Arizona. One in which Arizona will correct but not have a bubble burst. In fact, I think most of the country and there were no extenuating circumstances. The house didn't back to a major road, right? It wasn't, a 3-story house or something crazy, just something odd, right? It was a really nice house that was marketed well, the same way as previously, and a different result. So you go from having maybe 7, 8 offers on a property, seriously, to maybe 3 to maybe 1, and that 1 will be really good, but then you go to now you get 0, and it takes 2 weeks to sell the house, and then a month to sell the house. Guys, days on market are increasing as well. So you have active supply going up a little bit, your days on market going up a little bit, but overall, generally speaking, the supply has always been trickling onto the market. Picture a sponge, right, under that faucet, and there's always been a constant drip. It really has, even when the market was on fire the last 5 months, constant drip. But that sponge was so big and dry, it would just soak it up. The demand was so much. Well, now that sponge is starting to stay a little damp, a little moist, and so when the water hits it, it's not soaking it up as fast. So the demand is starting to decrease while supply is remaining relatively somewhat the same. Now, obviously, I know it's up 29%, but we're talking that's not in numbers. That's not a big number just because we had such little supply. So that being said, you're seeing demand start to curtail. Now, what will this do to rental rates? Well, at this point, people are saying, I think I need to wait a little bit. I had a conversation with a client just this morning. I think I want to wait a little bit because I don't know what's going to happen. Now, I would argue it's all about your exit strategy. Okay, if your exit strategy is that you think you will be in the house for 5 years plus, I would highly recommend to buy. Okay, highly recommend, because then if the market goes down and corrects, you just wait out that correction until it comes back up again, and then you can sell if you need to sell. So, and then you're putting money towards your own equity, right? You're getting your tax breaks, all these benefits that come with owning real estate under our U.S. tax code. Where you're renting, you're just out the window. You have flexibility to an extent, maybe on a 12-month time frame, but your money's out the window. So, I would highly recommend to, obviously at this point, look to seriously buy. Rental rates are increasing at an incredible rate. Now, we are seeing a chink in the armor with that right now. Rental supply is starting to go up, and they're staying on the market longer as well, almost identically to the purchase market. In addition to that, the Phoenix area is set to have about 22,000 new units come onto the market for rent over the next 12 months, whether they're apartments, condos, etc. But there's a lot of apartment complexes being built, guys. So there's going to be a lot more supply that'll be coming onto the market, which overall is a good thing. But what it will do is it will soften the acceleration of the rental rates in the Phoenix area, which overall is going to be just a good thing probably for everybody. Now, a lot of people don't like the apartments because it condenses a lot of population right into one little area. And of course, apartments aren't the same as having a community of homes, single-family homes in a neighborhood. However, something has to give, and if they don't do that, they can't build the houses fast enough at this point. If they don't do that, then obviously rental rates will continue to just go out of control until people say, I can't live here, and then the population growth stops, and then industry stops coming here. So it has a domino effect, which ideally you don't want. You want that slow appreciation every single month. You want slow appreciation on rental prices too, ideally as a landlord. So that doesn't obviously have a curtail way down. Now, the landlords and the investors who own property for many years, okay, say, well, shoot, at this point, 3 years or older, right, not even that long, they have an advantage. Why? Because they had this run-up of appreciation. So if they need to, they can now undercut the competition on the rental rates if they start to flatten to make sure their house gets filled. Whereas someone who's an investor who maybe just bought just like 5 months ago, they don't have as much equity in the house potentially, so they may not be as flexible to come down rental rates to get that position filled. That's what we saw in 2008, okay, and 9 and 10 until it just dominoed till the crash. Is that going to happen at that level at this point? Not a chance. Not a chance, okay? I did a video on this earlier that showed you all kinds of charts, right, with the inverted yield curve and so on and so forth, right? So please check out that video. But no, not a chance. Correction is on the on the horizon, no doubt about it. But the bubble is not. So that is the good news when it comes to the Phoenix area. So right now you're seeing a lot of uncertainty, right? The stock market continues to basically underperform. It is decreasing. You're seeing analysts and and smart money, if you will, come out and say that they would sell on the upswings of the market heading through the rest of this year. You have other analysts saying that we're in a bear market because we're having drops, 10 to 20% of the major indexes. Yet, you have other people who are saying that they're going to be buying opportunities, that they're going to maybe go to cash now and then jump back in towards the third, fourth quarter, because a lot of people think they'll be buying opportunities that will then hopefully get this to rebound if inflation, of course, gets under control. So there'll be some rough sledding along the way, guys. Crypto is getting crushed right now too as well. So all these things are basically combining, piling on top of each other, to where it's starting to have an effect on the housing market going down, because remember, the housing market is a much slower animal. That all being said, I think that what we're going to see, this is my crystal ball here, guys, we're going to see is that in most markets across the country outside of Arizona that have cooler weather, right, let's say, their good selling season is the summertime. That is honest right now. It's upcoming for the vast majority of the country. In Arizona, we're going to our slower season, okay, because summertime, it just slows down a little bit because a lot of people leave and go to cooler places and things of that nature. Now, that being said, I think once you have the summer season over for most of the other parts of the country, you're going to potentially start seeing a market in many of those cities across the country that starts to really soften, and correct. I think it's going to probably happen towards the end of this year. I really do. However, I think Arizona, you're still probably looking another year from now. The reason why is because as soon as those markets across the country start to soften and maybe correct, people get onto the sidelines and off the field, but they have a lot of interest in Arizona. Why? Because maybe it's a second home, maybe the weather, right? Maybe they just want to move and relocate to warmer weather because it's now starting to snow in mid-November in Minnesota or whatever. So that being said, people start, and then that's when our season starts to pick up as well naturally in Arizona. So I think you're going to have a lot of demand pouring into Arizona come October, November, December, and through our season running through the next April 2023. So I think that's going to prop us up, the Arizona local, Phoenix, Arizona community housing market economy, if you will, before you see really a semi-decent correction. That's my 2 cents. I could be wrong, but that's where I stand, guys. Comment below. Let us know what you think about my stance on it because of the cycles of the housing market. What do you think? Do you think it's going to be imminent right away? Do you think it's going to be just some big, huge bubble that pops and bursts all over the place like it was in 2009? What are your thoughts? Comment below. Let's get a conversation going, and let's see what people think out there. And by the way, you can always call us as well. Call us, let us chat with you if you have any more questions about this, about specific niche markets within Arizona, the suburbs, Scottsdale, Gilbert, Chandler, Tempe, Glendale, whatever it may be. You can call us at 480-660-5974. You can email me at info@kellycookhomes.com. Guys, thank you so much for supporting our channel and watching this video. And also check us out at our Instagram page, at Kelly Cook Real Estate Group, okay? Where we're putting out daily content, what we're doing behind the scenes for our real estate team, guys. And we have a lot of fun selling real estate and helping clients. So thank you so much, guys. We're passionate about it. Thank you for joining our video. And until next time, don't forget,